Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence, and as I'm sure you know, I have reviewed a bunch of fragrances from the brand Michael Malul. I've actually reviewed a bunch from their signature line, their couture line. So they just released travel atomizers of their most successful fragrances. You can actually find 4 different travel sets or discovery sets, 2 marketed for men, 2 marketed for women. I have here 5 of what I think are the biggest compliment getters from the brand. So in today's overview for the brand Michael Malul, I'm going to be discussing 5 of their fragrances, and I'm going to try to compact my thoughts into one video. I'm very excited to get on with this overview, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's video and I tell you about these 5 fragrances by the brand Michael Malul, 5 that in my opinion are some of the biggest compliment getters from the brand, and you have one for every season and every situation, and I'll give you my consolidated thoughts in this video. I do want to start things off by saying that if you are a fan of fragrance related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to hit that bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload future videos to the channel, and of course give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or if you took something of value from today's episode. Now, there are so many great fragrances from Michael Malul. I personally love Visionaire, which is kind of their take on Creed's Green Irish Tweed. It has that personality, but it still does things in a different way. I love Ocean Noir. I love Spice and Black Tie from their Couture collection. And I have been wearing a lot of the fresher offerings from the brand in the summertime because there's a lot of fragrances from the brand that are really suitable for the hotter weather. So here we actually have a medley of different fragrances. So each one of these travel atomizers in the travel set, and these are going for a pretty good price at the moment. They just came out, and here we have Jet Black Intense, Jet Black Platinum, Citizen Jack Absolute, Ocean Noir, and the last one is Visionaire Midnight Blue, which is a flanker of Visionaire. So each one of these is 10 ml, so you're effectively getting 50 mls in one discovery set. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on all of these fragrances, if I can close the box properly. It's hard to do it with one hand. And we are going to start things off with Jet Black Intense. Now, again, I do want to reiterate that I've actually reviewed a lot of these fragrances, so I'm going to leave reviews down below in the description box if you're interested in checking them out. So for the first one, Jet Black Intense, ooh, really bright compliment getter type of a fragrance. So this one was composed by Clement Gavary, if I remember correctly. Has a lot of apple, lavender, a bit of a mint vibe in here as well. This one can actually be compared to Creed Aventus. So if you are a fan of some of those modern fruity chypre fragrances, that's pretty much what you're going to get with the first one. Very easygoing, very easy to pull off, and there's actually a bit of like a darker personality to it as well. I don't know if it's patchouli, but it also kind of reminds me a little bit of Hachivat by Visionnaire. So you give this fragrance a chance to dry down, and it actually does kind of have that darker, more like mysterious personality while still smelling very fresh, very easy to wear, and very easy to pull off. This is a compliment getter through and through. If you're looking for something versatile that can be worn any season, any occasion, the first one that I spoke about, Jet Black Intense, is definitely the way to go. And then of course with the second offering, Jet Black Platinum, we get into slightly darker territory. Now, darker not in terms of it being dark and resinous and smoky or anything like that. No, this one is actually sweeter. So for the second one, you do have toffee, you have cinnamon, you have some spices in here, and I love that sweet gourmand warmth that is emanating from this fragrance. Now, this is a fragrance if you are a fan of Stronger With You by Emporio Armani. So it definitely conveys a sweetness that is right along those lines, but of course it does things in its own way. I would venture to say that this one is a bit spicier than Stronger With You, and you do have that salted caramel kind of a vibe in here. Really nicely done if you're looking for a compliment getter, but one that is great for a date night, a romantic occasion, a between the sheets kind of a fragrance, night out kind of a fragrance. that is precisely what you're going to get with this one. And I also find that this one is going to do a lot better in the colder weather as opposed to it being a year-round fragrance. And you know, of course, spices are evocative of the autumn season. I find these fragrances to be perfectly done well for the autumn and the winter time. Whenever I think of spices and gourmands and vanilla and resins, that to me screams autumn and winter. So Jet Black Platinum is one that I'm going to save for the winter time. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is called Citizen Jack Absolute. Now this is another one that also has a bunch of flankers, and this one is really nice if you're looking for a fruity and musky fragrance. If you are a fan of fragrances like Erba Pura by Xerjoff, formerly known as Sospiro, now it's under the Xerjoff brand, or Kirke by Tiziana Terenzi, that's what you're going to get in here. It's a pineapple and melon fragrance with some aromatic components and a clean musky base. Now this one is really, really nice. Actually, I find this one to be perfectly unisex. I do think that the other ones have a tendency of leaning a little bit on the masculine side of things, but something about this fragrance does lean unisex in my opinion. And again, very fulfilling, very easy to wear. This one is great for all year round, just like the first one I spoke about. I don't think that there are any notes in here that necessarily convey the hotter months or the colder months. I do find it to be very versatile, and I actually see this being a great dressed up and dressed down fragrance. So just as much as it is formal, I also find it to be casual. If you're looking for a fruity fragrance by Michael Malul, I would definitely recommend Citizen Jack Absolute. And then we have Ocean Noir. This one I definitely reviewed, and this one has actually gotten a bunch of compliments for me. This one has coconut, seaweed, and sea notes. So it's definitely on the more tropical side of things, but there's also like this summery vibe about it that I think works perfectly well if you're looking for a vacation type of a fragrance. And this one is definitely on the brighter, fresher side of things. Again, one of the biggest compliment getters from the brand. I think this one is great for casual. I can also see this one being worn formally. My personal opinion is I would prefer to wear Jet Black Intense formally. So Ocean Noir is probably going to be more of a casual fragrance for me personally, but I do like that creamy lactonic coconut vibe that's in here. Not too strong, but there's a certain citrusy freshness as well. I suppose there's perhaps a little bit of bergamot in the opening. This one can be compared to Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, but there's also something about it that kind of reminds me of like the compliment getters of the 90s, like Curve by Liz Claiborne or Cool Water by Davidoff. There's like this classy vibe about it. I'm sure it's a couple of ingredients that are in here or something, but this one really does smell good. More of a casual fragrance and definitely good for the summertime. I see that a lot of them work really well for the summertime, so I'm actually glad that the brand is releasing these travel atomizers and these discovery sets in time for the summer, given the fact that a lot of these fragrances are gonna work really, really well when the weather is warm. And then the last one that I want to talk about is Visionaire Midnight Blue. And of course, I love Visionaire. It has a green Irish tweed vibe about it. Now with Visionaire Midnight Blue, that's right, this is the one that has watermelon in it. So this is a watermelon and lavender fragrance. And the lavender in here is youthful, it's modern, it's contemporary. Again, no rough edges. And the watermelon, it has enough of that juicy fruitiness. It's not overly sweet and it's not overly fruity like the third fragrance that I talked about, but it does coalesce with the lavender very nicely. So at times it's aromatic and modern and professional. And then at times it also has like this youthful and playful personality about it as well. And so all 5 of these fragrances from Michael Malul are, I think, great for the summertime, with the exception of the second one, which is Jet Black Platinum. I do find that that one is probably going to work a little bit better in the autumn and the winter time, but all of them are serious compliment getters. If that's your thing, if you're looking for compliments, you want other people to notice you, you want other people to say something positive about the way that you smell. And I do think that most people out there wear fragrances so that they can be perceived in a positive light by those around them. All 5 of these fragrances are really going to work wonders. They're not too dark or experimental in any way. They all hit the nail on the head head quite nicely. And so again, I know I did a review of a lot of these fragrances, if not all of them, and I will leave the reviews down below if you're interested in learning about my more in-depth thoughts on any one particular fragrance. But the fact that they do have these discovery sets or these travel sets makes it really easy for you to travel with them, because we know with TSA regulations, if it's above a certain size, I think 3.5 ounces or something like that, you can't bring it unless it's, you know, a certain size. And so these are all 10 milliliters. And I do think that they did a nice way of sort of curating these sets so that they are kind of aesthetically similar. They have ones marketed for men, one marketed for women. And so I do enjoy that there is this nice sort of compact way to present many of the fragrances from the brand at a very reasonable price. And it also makes for a really nice gift. This is a brand that has gained a lot of recognition over the past year and a half or so, I would say. I hope you have the opportunity to check it out. There's going to be a link down below to where you can check out the fragrances. It's not an affiliate link. I'm not getting money from you making purchases off that link, but I am going to leave some information down below if you're interested in checking out the brand. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload these videos to the channel. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you took something of value from today's overview. It would really mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.